All right, hello Guild Wars gamers, both 1, 2, and soon to be 3. We have got a update for you guys today. Last night, or I should say yesterday, I'm sorry, I'm streaming all day so my clock is messed up. Yesterday, we the streamers were told to tell you guys that they had an announcement that they were going to release today. This is Saturday, June 6th, and the announcement was going to be related to the future of the franchise. They recognized that many people would be concerned that with Guild Wars 3 coming out, were they going to abandon Guild Wars 2 or something like that? And they said, no, we plan to support all 3 games going forward, and there would be a blog post today in order to cover that. The blog post just came out 1 minute ago, so I'm about to read it for the first time, and we will check this out. Yesterday was a huge day for ArenaNet and our community. We revealed that we were developing Guild Wars 3 at Summer Game Fest with an announcement trailer, which was in my previous video, so we won't rewatch that. We also published an informative blog covering some exciting new sales both in the game and outside of it to celebrate our big reveal. Those sales are still going on. They started yesterday and they were going for 3 days, so if you're interested in picking up anything Guild Wars 1 or 2 at a discount, that is still happening. Today we invite you to hear directly from studio head Colin Johansson, Guild Wars 2's game director Josh Davis, and Guild Wars Reforged game director Stephen Clark Wilson about the future of the Guild Wars franchise. Now, Colin worked on the game back, I believe, when Guild Wars 2 back when it first came out, and then he went on to, like years later, he went on to work at other companies, and then a few years ago he came back to ArenaNet and has apparently been secretly working on Guild Wars 3 since he returned. Let's see, so we've got a video here, and I've opened that in another tab, and about to watch this for the first time. So it just came up 4 minutes ago. All right, here we go.
Hey everyone. This weekend is massive for ArenaNet, and most importantly for all of you in the Guild Wars community. Yesterday, we announced Guild Wars 3, the first major new game in the Guild Wars franchise in over a decade. We're going to tell new stories in a different era of Tyria, and when it's ready, you can join us. We wouldn't have got to this moment without the millions of players who've enjoyed Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, and the entire team at ArenaNet is proud to share this moment with all of you. We'll have much more to share about Guild Wars 3 in the months ahead, but today, we're here to talk about the games you're already playing. I want you all to know our studio is committed to actively developing Guild Wars Reforged and Guild Wars 2 for many years to come.
There it is.
We are not replacing your favorite games. We'll be supporting them. We know
So, quick pause. When Guild Wars 2 came out, they pretty much abandoned Guild Wars 1. But they realized years later, like, there's still a lot of people playing Guild Wars 1, and they've recently done like a whole bunch of updates for it. There was a couple of patches, there was Reforged, there is the mobile launch, the mobile support for Guild Wars 1. So I think part of that stems from the Hall of Monuments. The Hall of Monuments was originally set up to convince people in Guild Wars 1 that their work wasn't wasted, and go to Guild Wars 2, you'll get some cosmetics and titles because of all the work that you did in Guild Wars 1. However, it also kind of worked in reverse. It got a lot of people over the years to go back and try Guild Wars 1, like, oh, I'm a Guild Wars 2 fan, I want to unlock this title, I'm going to go play Guild Wars 1 until I unlock the title. And then maybe they were like, oh, this is pretty good, and they stick around, or maybe they don't. But it got a lot of people to go back and try their old product. So I think that they have realized that it's worth it to continue working on the previous titles.
This is not the norm, but it's something our studio has been preparing for, and to explain why, it's worth looking back. When Guild Wars 1 was our only live game, we faced a similar moment concerning the future of the franchise. And as we shifted our focus to Guild Wars 2, we moved most of the studio to work on it. New content in Guild Wars 1 slowly went away, year over year, before stopping entirely as we approached the release of Guild Wars 2.
I didn't realize he was about to talk about this, I just want to let him say it.
Guild Wars is a very different game than its sequel, and by making the decision we did, we lost the ability to explore that space. We are not repeating the same approach as we did all those years ago. If we did, we would have stopped development on Guild Wars 2 more than a year ago. Instead, we've continued live development on Guild Wars 2, launched the game on Steam and Epic Game Store, and we've released 3 expansions in 3 years. We've seen Guild Wars 2 thrive, all while ramping up development for Guild Wars 3 simultaneously in the background. At the same time, we tested something new with Guild Wars 1 by reinvesting in the game and creating Guild Wars Reforged to see what would happen. And what we learned was clear. When we support these worlds, players show up. both returning veterans and entirely new fans of the Guild Wars franchise. Those experiences shaped how we're handling this moment. So here's our new commitment: Guild Wars Reforged, Guild Wars 2, and Guild Wars 3 when it launches. All 3 games share the world of Tyria. They are intentionally very different in design, in experience, and where they sit on the timeline. Whichever one is your home, and you're welcome to pick more than one, we're going to continue developing it for years to come. So next, Stephen Clark Wilson, our game director for Guild Wars, is going to walk you through what this means for our original game. And then Josh Davis, game director for Guild Wars 2, will talk about what's next for Guild Wars 2.
I have a lot of thoughts about what he said to share, but the last set of thoughts I said, he immediately voiced, so I'm going to let it play out, and then I'll go back and talk about it.
Original Guild Wars, now rebranded as Guild Wars Reforged, has been making up for lost time. Partnering with co-developer 2 Weeks Games, we fully integrated the game with Steam, including Steam Deck support. In the first month, about half of Steam players tried it on Steam Deck. We also simplified access. Anyone who has ever purchased a single campaign can now play all the campaigns at no additional cost. Next, we're applying what we learned about Steam Deck controls and UI to bring Guild Wars Reforged.
To clarify, they believe that by their definition, the campaigns are the first one, Prophecies, Factions, and Nightfall. Eye of the North, they don't consider a campaign, so that one's not included. So if you had any of the first 3 things I said, you get all of them, but Eye of the North is still like a separate purchase.
To mobile devices. The relatively small screen on the Steam Deck forced us to reconsider what the user experience should look like. We also learned a lot going the opposite direction, making sure the game looks right and plays right on a 4K monitor. A typical phone these days has a very high resolution display, and we needed to adapt the UI to these high resolution displays, but they're in a small form factor. Mobile players will join the same live servers as PC players, and existing PC players will be able to access the game on mobile instantly and free of charge. We can't wait for longtime players to carry around Guild Wars in their pockets, and also join all the new players. We also recently shipped 2 new dungeons. Their success has given us the confidence to begin work on an entirely new type of content, which is just now getting underway. Stay tuned.
Oh, okay.
Hey everyone. Like Colin said, we plan to support Guild Wars 2 for years to come. My priority is to make sure this community remains a place that you're excited to call home. That said, the road ahead looks a little bit different than what's come before. The next 18 months are an opportunity for us to take on some exciting projects that we've wanted.
He looks so different without his glasses. Every time I've seen Josh, well, not every time, but most of the times I see Josh for like videos and stuff, he's wearing glasses. He looks like a completely different person.
Work on the kind of projects that don't really fit in expansions. So we have 4 major initiatives to share today, and one very important caveat. Let's go through the headlines first, then each in more detail. First off, we're building a new Hall of Monuments system that will connect Guild Wars 2 with Guild Wars 3.
There we go. I have said a million times they need to do that. It was a genius thing that paid dividends for them for years, and they need to continue that.
You carry your accomplishments forward over to 3. Next up, we're going to modernize and polish Guild Wars 2. We want to bring our older content up to more current design standards, address player concerns, and improve developer workflows.
ZHAITAN fight. Fix the ZHAITAN fight.
Third is for our World vs. World players. We're actively developing a brand new Borderlands map, the first in over a decade.
Oh, dude, someone was asking me about that just the other day. Someone was like, yo, Muck, are they going to do anything more for World v. World? And I was like, no, y'all didn't like the last map you got. You don't get any more. I said it as a joke, but that's fantastic.
And the fourth announcement is a new open world map set in Ore, bridging the Tyria that you know and the Tyria that you're about to discover in Guild Wars 3. Now, as mentioned, this all comes with a trade-off, and we want to be upfront about it. Visions of Eternity, our current expansion, wraps up this September. After that, we're taking a break from expansion development to deliver Hall of Monuments 2.0 and the other projects that I just mentioned. After Guild Wars 3 releases, we'll return to shipping annual major content updates for Guild Wars 2.
Okay, so just to recap, Visions of Eternity ends later this year. After that, they're going to spend close to a year, maybe more, just working on the Hall of Monuments and patching old content. Then Guild Wars 3 comes out, and after that, Guild Wars 2 expansions resume. Okay. Yeah, I'm completely fine with that. I'm 100% okay with that.
Let's start with talking about Hall of Monuments in a little bit more detail. If you've played the original Guild Wars, you're probably already familiar with this concept. Hall of Monuments 2.0 arrives later this year.
Are they going to show it? It doesn't look like they're going to show it. Okay, real quick. Hold on a second. Guild Wars Hall of Monuments. Give me a sec. I'm going to pull it up and show it for people who don't know what this is. Okay, so this is the Hall of Monuments. It's this website here. You just punch in the name of one of your Guild Wars 1 characters. I've got one called Mukluk Reborn. Very edgy, I know. And basically, these are things down here that you've earned in Guild Wars 1. So like end-game weapon collections, end-game armor collections, titles you earned, like beating this boss or killing 1,000 players or something, whatever. Heroes and pets. Heroes were like the AI companions that you could get in the game, and you could basically catalog the ones that you've got like really high level. Mini pets is like a mini pet collection. And then up here are rewards. Like based on how many points you earned down here, this reward meter fills up. And these are all cosmetics, titles, or mini pets, or in some cases ranger pets that are not more powerful. It's kind of like a reskin that you would earn in Guild Wars 2. So that's how the system works, and it still works to this day. Just wanted everybody to see that so they knew like what this was about.
Will let you earn rewards in Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 3 by completing new and existing achievements across the entirety of Guild Wars 2. One major difference from the original Hall of Monuments is that this time it will roll out in phases. The first 2 releases will focus on the core game, and then we'll hit each of our expansions in chronological order over the course of a year.
Okay, that kind of sounds like how they did Season of the Dragons, the Legendary Amulet, where you revisit like the entire game. So okay, so they're gonna have like a whole bunch of things that we can do to earn Guild Wars 3 stuff in the core game, and then sometime later, maybe like a whole bunch of challenges we can do to earn Guild Wars 3 rewards in Heart of Thorns, and then on and on and on.
We'll have a lot more information to share on the system and the associated rewards after the final release for Visions of Eternity later this year. So building Hall of Monuments this way gives us a rare opportunity to revisit the foundations of Guild Wars 2, which brings us to our second major initiative. After our team finishes work on Visions of Eternity in late September, we're going to spend nearly a full year going back through each area of the game and making meaningful improvements. The work splits into 2 halves, the stuff you'll see and experience as a player, and the work under the hood. Let's start with what you'll see. Everything is on the table here, to borrow a phrase from Colin. For example, bringing older content up to our current design standards, rebalancing events and encounters, addressing long-standing bugs, continued support for pillars of the game like World vs. World, polishing the early game experience. These are just high-level categories, but one specific example that we are updating is the ZHAITAN fight person story. This is
yes!
a rare opportunity for us to take a pass on the entire game and hit some of the biggest pain points that you experience on a day-to-day basis. Now, the other half.
I don't want to spoil anyone, but like if you have never finished the core Guild Wars experience, just know that like I'm gonna say this very stand back-ish. ZHAITAN is the big bad. You hear about him throughout the whole story, and the climax of it is kind of a letdown. So it has been something that people bring up for a very long time.
Work that goes on under the hood, the kind of improvements that allow us to continue supporting Guild Wars 2 for years to come. We're investing in client and server performance, making sure that Guild Wars 2 runs well on your rigs, especially as we push the art direction in ways that our technology wasn't originally built for. We're also modernizing parts of our development pipeline. For example, we're upgrading our engine to use physics-based rendering, or PBR. The game wasn't originally built with PBR in mind, but adding it will let our team make new content better and faster. Now, there's a lot of work that can be done here, and a year is simply not enough time to do it all. So we want to stay focused on the things that matter most to you. Starting today, we're opening a new section on the official forums dedicated to this work. There's a space for the core game,
Community Quality of Life Initiative,
and a space for each expansion. Go to the forums and let us know what you think. The third announcement is for our World vs. World players. We're building a brand new Borderlands map, the first in over a decade. We're going to develop the map alongside the community, similar to how we approach the development of the new PvP push game mode. We'll release an early Greybox prototype on live, gather your feedback, and iterate until we feel good about the direction.
Okay, so real quick, if any of you did not participate in the PvP push game mode stuff, what they did is they released a kind of like a beta on the live servers, and you could play it if you wanted to. And you would go in there, and it was kind of like the textures were missing, right? So it looked very bare bones, but the functionality was there. You could play the map, you could give feedback, and be like, yo, I think there needs to be more pillars here that you can line a sight behind, or I think there needs to be less obstacles over here. This thing is in the way, or we need more obstacles. It's like too open, whatever. And you could give feedback. And then they did another beta later on, and like maybe like the textures were there, and then it looked closer to like a finished product. And they did that a couple of times until the finished version was done and it was out.
We think this approach gives us the best shot at avoiding the missteps that came with Desert Borderlands. Our goal is to host a beta test later this year, as soon as the map hits first playable. Outside of the new map, work on World vs. World restructuring and our core World vs. World systems continues. Right now, the focus is on...
Right here. So trebuchets can shoot cows, and I was just laughing
systems
at that.
Continues. Right now, the focus is on making winning matter, which requires some fundamental changes to scoring. Once the system is properly encouraging active competitive play, we'll look at adding some more incentives for winning as well. Last but not least, we're going back to Ore. You've probably heard by now that Guild Wars 3 takes place in Ore. It's one of the most iconic locations in the entire franchise, it's lore-rich, and it's tied to some of our most important storytelling. We're genuinely excited that Guild Wars 3 takes us back there, and that you're going to see Ore in a way that you've never been able to see it before. We'll have more to share down the road, but what I can say is that this will be a core game edition, free for all to play. If you or a friend are coming back to Guild Wars 2 to chase Hall of Monuments rewards, you won't need to own an expansion to check it out. So this has been a lot, I know. A new Hall of Monuments, a year of polish, a new Borderlands map, a new map in Ore, and of course, you can still look forward to our festivals, bonus events, skills balance updates, Wizards Vault updates, and more. It's a pretty ambitious plan. Most games don't get a chance to put this level of attention towards improving the foundation so long after initial release. We get this opportunity because of you, and I think that we're set to put our best foot forward for Guild Wars 2 for the next 15 years and beyond.
So as you can see, this is an exciting moment for ArenaNet and for Guild Wars fans around the world. We're expanding into the future with Guild Wars 3. We're going back through Guild Wars 2 to improve what we've built and launching the first release of the new Hall of Monuments by the end of this year. We're investing in Guild Wars Reforged, the game that started it all, with new platforms and new content. And before any of that, we've got the third quarterly release of Visions of Eternity landing in late summer with new story, a new map, and more. We're so grateful for this community. Every time we've had a moment to welcome new fans to the Guild Wars franchise, our players have shown up with open arms, reinforcing our...
Sorry, hang on a sec. There was this right here. I was wondering if there was anything new here we haven't seen. Okay, so... All right, yeah, we've seen that artwork. We've seen that, we've seen that, we've seen that, we've seen that, we've seen that. What is all this other stuff? There's a lot of new stuff here. There's some kind of like Firefox, like flame pet thing here. Some kind of like ice monster. That might be a playable race. Oh my gosh. Gonna have to go over this more in detail later. What else do we got? Got some other dude here, like posing. Might be a playable character or like an important NPC. Got some kind of like flying monster. Some like wasps or something that are glowing. This cool looking, it almost looks like a rocky version of a baby dragon. There's that Firefox thing again that we talked about. Okay, all right.
Time we've had reinforcing our reputation as one of the friendliest communities in online gaming. We're expecting newcomers and returning players to visit Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars Reforged in droves as a result of the excitement and the commitment we're making to this franchise. Hall of Monuments will encourage millions of people who experience Guild Wars for the first time with Guild Wars 3 to want to go play Guild Wars 2 as well. We know many of these new players will fall in love with the games and Tyria just as many of you already have. And as a member of this welcoming community, each of you plays a huge part in that. Thank you. This is the first of a few conversations we'll be having with you over the coming weeks and months. Next up, our team will be back with more information about the setting of Guild Wars 3, sharing more details about the where and the when this game takes place. Then next Tuesday, Josh and I will sit down for a live stream on Twitch and YouTube to talk more about the franchise and to answer some of your questions. Please join us if you can. We're so glad to have you with us on this journey. Thank you all to the community. We'll see you in Tyria.
Ah, so good. All right, so that's the end of the video. Let's go back to the blog post, and it continues with Colin and Josh will also be hosting a live stream next week on Twitch to continue the conversation about the future of the Guild Wars franchise. Make sure you tune in to watch on Tuesday, June 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. They always pick times that are terrible. Okay, so that's 2 p.m. my time. I might be able to cover that. As Josh mentioned in the video, after Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity wraps up in September, we're turning our attention to improving the foundations of Guild Wars 2, and we want to make the most of it with your help. Starting with our first Hall of Monuments update coming later this year, we're going to spend nearly a full year going back through each era of Guild Wars 2, making meaningful improvements to the player experience. Head over to the new feedback forum and share your ideas on what you'd like us to address. We're excited to shape the future of Guild Wars 2 alongside the community and ensure its continued success for many years to come. And there is a link to the new feedback forum here with a whole bunch of suggestions. You can see it's just getting started. So I really want to stress this. If you know about any old bugs, like, oh man, whenever I try to do this one mission in the core game, it bugs out and it just it kicks me out at this point, or the boss is invulnerable, or whatever. If you know of any old bugs, this is a great time to submit them in the appropriate section. This is a great time to do that. I know of a couple that I'll put in there. I don't know if they'll qualify for the things that they care about, but this is the time to do that. So I will include a link to that under this video, and definitely interact with that if that is something that is something that is a pain point, basically. So very exciting. They're still going to be supporting all 3 games. Hall of Monuments is coming to give us more things that we can unlock in Guild Wars 2 and 3 both. We have got a new Worldview world map coming. They're going to address the ZHAITAN fight. They're doing a performance increase they talked about with a physics engine for Guild Wars 2. A lot of stuff to be excited about. So that is it for today's news. Hot off the presses. And if you've got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, put them in the comments section down below, and I'll fight you there.